On target ammo, 9mm versus 357 Magnum. And this is some ammo that Dan the Wolfman sent me from his personal stash. He wanted me to test it out in my ballistic protocol to see what we're getting here. So for our 9mm, it's on target. It is a 115 grain jacket at hollow point. I believe that uses a Sierra Sportsmaster bullet. Looks a lot like it. And for our 357 Magnum, it is a 125 grain and it uses a gold dot bullet. So I'm going to do a long barrel versus a short barrel test. You know, our 9mm, our 5-inch M&P versus our 4-inch Smith & Wesson 686, because about the same amount of bullet travel in those guns, and the guns are about the same size. Same deal here with our shorter barrels, a 3.2-inch Taurus G2C versus our 2-inch barrel Taurus 605. Again, about the same amount of barrel travel and overall size and weights of the gun and all of that. So we're going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. Then I'm going to do my 10% clear ballistic test. 4 layers of denim followed by 3 inches of clear ballistics to represent hitting a pectoral muscle, followed by a 1/4 inch MDF into more clear ballistics. I'm going to leave this MDF in for all of these shots because I'm going to put 4 bullets in this block. I don't want to intersect paths or anything like that. And Dan the Wolfman actually says that this protocol with this 1/4 inch MDF and clear ballistics actually equals organic clear ballistics very favorably. So, you know, he's going to want to see that in there anyways. Plus, to me, it matters more what the MDF does versus no MDF, because, you know, plain clear gel is kind of easy on bullets. I want to see how well constructed a bullet is, and the MDF actually helps. And then I'm not really going to have very many rounds because he only sends a few. But if I have any left, I'll launch them off at my full-size steel silhouette to see what I get. So let's get started with this test. All right, I'm about 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. First up, I'm going to test the 9mm. First up, our 5-inch barrel. And I'm just going to do a 3-round average here and see what we get here. So here's our 5-inch barrel, 115 grain. 1196. 1184. 1195. You can see why that's my favorite pistol there. Very consistent. Now let's try a 3.2-inch barrel. 1102, 1129, 1120. So not too terribly inconsistent and pretty good velocity. Let's try our 357 Magnum. All right, 357 Magnum through our 4-inch 686, 125 grain gold dot. See how this will do. 1193. 1240, 1155. So not particularly powerful for a 125 grain. Generally a 125 grain you're going to get somewhere around 1400 to 1450 feet per second. So considering that, though, it should be a pretty good snub nose load as far as our recoil goes. So let's see what we get in this. No read. 1051. No read. So there's a little bit of powder coming out that's not burning, but 1051. I mean, that's like a really hot 38 plus P. But our recoil's pretty low. So let's try our ballistics gel block, see what we get with these rounds. All right, first up we have our 9mm. I'm just gonna go back to back with these. Fire one from the 5-inch barrel, then from the 3.2-inch, and then go up and analyze and see what we got going on. So 4 layers of denim, 3 inches of clear ballistics, a 1/4 inch MDF, and the more clear ballistics. 9mm 5-inch barrel, 3.2-inch barrel. All right, so let's take out this MDF. This will sometimes shed light on what's going on here. So our top one is our 3.2-inch and our bottom one is our 5-inch barrel. And we can see definitely in that first 3 inches, our 5-inch barrel got more expansion, which is really interesting because it looks like it penetrated over penetrated. It looks like the expansion on both of these is kind of minimal from what I can tell here. Our 3.2 inch barrel, we're at about 17.5 inches, and our 5-inch barrel, we're at about 21.5. Now you generally have to add about 2 inches to that equation if you're talking clear ballistics in general, but if Dan the Wolfman is right that the 1/4 inch MDF equals, you know, standard ballistics gel, I'm just going to take it at face value, you know, 17.5 and 21.5, which for the 3-inch barrel wasn't bad, but for the 5-inch barrel it over penetrated, and I think that's just because the velocity difference was pretty significant. It was getting close to 100 feet per second, and that just gave a little bit more extra push to that 5-inch barrel to push it in there deeper. So let's see how our 357 compares. All right, 357 mag, same thing. I'm gonna put a couple in there and then go up and analyze it. 357, 4-inch. Low recoil for sure. 2-inch. All right. So, very interesting here. Our 4-inch barrel did not get any expansion. And it went up to 34.25 inches. Our 2-inch barrel passed right through for some reason. Interesting. And we can definitely tell from this, that's what's going on there. So that 357 is not necessarily something I would personally carry. The 9mm was okay, but I think there's better options. So I got a couple rounds, or at least 1 round of each left, I believe. I'm gonna fire from 25 yards, see what kind of accuracy I can get, because that counts for something. All right, I got 1 round of each of these left, so I'm gonna go for a headshot at 25 yards. You know, let's say, you know, these aren't necessarily the best ballistic performing rounds, so we need to make 1 good shot. Let's see how our 9mm M&P does. That got the job done. Now, Smith & Wesson 686. That got the job done. Now we move on to some real challenging stuff here. Taurus G2C. Not my best shooting pistol. Not where I aimed, but hey, it's a hit at least. Last round. Snub nose 357. Taurus 605. I knew that was gonna happen. So now we know, and just to point out, Dan the Wolfman was not suggesting this was necessarily good ammo. It was something he wanted me to test out, and it's one of those things you don't know until you know. And I haven't changed my protocol, and I normally have a really good performance on a lot of rounds I test. And when I see this, you know, this isn't necessarily very good. Now, the 9mm wasn't the worst I've ever seen. I've seen worse. So if you had to buy a few boxes of that 9mm for defense, I would say that's not that bad. I would avoid the 357 in general. You know, the energy was closer to like a Buffalo Bore Plus P 38 Special, but actually the recoil was more. It kind of reminds me of some of the hand loads I used to make, where I would not use Magnum powder, but I would use generic powder like you know, Universal or Tight Group or something. Pack it to max charge, and you'd never get that Magnum power. You'd get about what we got here, and you still get a pretty good amount of recoil. That's what it feels like is going on with that ammo. So that's what you get today. You don't know till you know. Not necessarily the best ammo. So thanks to Dan the Wolfman for sending this ammo. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.